Cell is the functional and structural unit of life. It is structural because it is the basic building block of every living organism. We can say every living organism is composed of cell, whether it is unicellular or multicellular. Any entity which do not have a cell or a proper cell is not called living or is called non-living. We cannot say it is living, but we cannot neither say it's non-living like viruses. And it is cell is called functional because it can perform basic functions of life. All important functions of an organism are performed by cell. Cell has independent existence. So first we have cytosol, then we have cell organelles which form cytoplasm. Then cytoplasm with nucleus is known as protoplasm, and protoplasm with cell membrane is called protoplast or cell if it is an animal cell. Animal cell is complete when we have cell membrane. So when cell membrane has cell wall made of cellulose around it, it is called plant cell. Now we have unicellular organisms which are composed of single cell and multicellular organisms which are composed of many cells. There are two types of organisms in unicellular and multicellular: prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes are primitive cell. Only prokaryotes in this world are bacteria, which are from Monera, I think kingdom Monera, and eukaryotes are advanced cell. So eukaryotes can be unicellular or multicellular. Amoeba, Paramecium, and Eugulina are example of some unicellular eukaryotes, whereas plants, animals, and fungi, except yeast, are example of multicellular. Some fungi can be multicellular or unicellular, depending on the situation or the environment. So cell was first discovered by Robert Hooke, but he only discovered the cell wall because he was observing cork cells, which cork cells are already dead cells. So he saw honeycomb like structures. Then Anton von Leeuwenhoek was the first person to see living cells. He observed WBC, RBC, protozoans, bacteria, spermatozoa, yeast under his microscope. Then we have Robert Brown who discovered nucleus. Cell theory was given by Matthias Lieden, a German botanist, in 1838. He studied plant cell and tissues. Sorry, I think cell theory was given by both Matthias Lieden and Theodore Swan, in which they concluded all living organisms are composed of cell. The drawback of the cell theory was it did not explain how new cells form. Matthias Lieden was a German botanist. He studied plant cell and tissues in 1838, whereas Theodore Swan was British zoologist who studied animal cells as well as plant cells in 1839. And the conclusion he got from animal cells was that animal cells are surrounded by thin delimiting structures called plasma membrane or cell membrane. Plasma membrane is specially name, especially it denotes animal cells. And by studying plant cell, he concluded that presence of cell wall is unique character of plant cell. So he gave hypothesis that all organisms are composed of cell and products of cell. After that, Theodore Swan and Matthias Lieden came to a conclusion and formed a cell theory called which told that all living organisms are composed of cell. The drawback of this cell theory was it did not explain how new cells arise. Modification of cell theory was done by Rudolf Virchow in 1985. He said omnicellular e-cellular. All, all living cells come from pre-existing cells. And the previous line, that all living organisms are composed of news. All living organisms are composed of cell and products of cell. So this new cell theory is also called modern cell theory. This was only for today.